Hey guys, welcome to CodeSless and I'm back with another video. So this video is all about fragment container view. So what is fragment container view? So earlier we used to use FrameLayout class, which is we used to use that class in order to transact fragment or add or replace fragments or navigating from one fragment to another fragment. So we used to that class in order to host fragment in short. So now Google has come up with this another class that is fragment container view. So using which we can host fragment, but in FrameLayout what we used to use that we need to like support fragment manager dot begin transaction dot add or replace fragment dot commit. So that was the thing that we need to do. But now using fragment container view, it is all going to work under the hood. You need not be worried about that. It will all get handled by the class as well. It will handle by the class. So now that's a cool feature that I think might help us to like go for or speeden up the process of developing an app. And there is other concern that why, so that fragment container view class is nothing but a subclass of FrameLayout, right? And there was some issue in FrameLayout that whenever you use custom animations and then whenever you navigate to one fragment to another fragment, there was this Z indexing animation issue that the exiting fragment was on top, right, until it exits entirely from the view. So that was creating some bad UX or user experience. So that's why they have come up with this class. So now this fragment container view class is the recommended class by Google in order to like transact or host fragment. So let's get started with the demo that I've prepared for these. Thank you guys. So let's start with the demo, guys. So here I've created a new project, named it as FCV YouTube demo, which is a fragment container view demo. So I'll be demonstrating fragment container view and a FrameLayout. So it will contain both of these examples, fragment container view and FrameLayout. So we'll compare both. So first of all, as I said, that we'll be using fragment container view. So to do that, we'll be using navigation component from jetpack architecture component. So we'll be copying some dependency. So I've just opened this link. I'll put this link into description, so you can just copy and paste it in the browser and just cut through it. So I'll copy this dependency and put it in here. Okay. So this is, so that was the one we used. So these were these app level Gradle dependencies. Now we'll put it in project level dependency, and we'll just have to copy this and put it in a plugin in app level. Yes. Okay, so now let's sync and let's wait for it to build. So it will take some time. So till then I can like explain what are the things that will. So we'll create a demo for both the things. We'll create a demo using FCV fragment container view, and we'll create a demo using these FrameLayout. So we'll create a demo with both of these, and then we'll compare the output of it. So it's built. So cut all this. Yeah. So now in activity main, we'll be putting fragment container view. So just fragment container view. Okay, we'll have to fragment container view. Okay, so remove this, put it as match parent and parent. Yes. Okay, so now we'll have to use some of the extra attributes that this provides. So first of all, to put in here, we'll have to create a navigation graph. So for that, what we'll do is go to navigate resource, then create a navigation Android resource directory of type navigation. Now create a navigation file. I'll be naming it as nav_home, right? Now to demonstrate, we'll have two different fragments. So I'll quickly create a package fragments. Yes, and now I'll keep two. So one is one fragment and other is two fragment, right? Now we'll create layout for both of those fragments. Fragment underscore one, and now we'll create a text view. Just to demonstrate the example, I'll show you that how we'll be going to demonstrate it. Wrap content, give it an ID, TV1, the text as one fragment. So we'll create a constraint. So if you give constraint like this, top to top parent, start to start, end to end, and bottom to bottom parent, it will put that entire view into center. And as we have given a width and height both as wrap content, it will be in the center, as you can see in the screen, on the screen, sorry. Right now we'll increase the size. Okay, text color white, we'll give it a background purple. We'll increase its size so that in example will be helpful, 25 sp. Right, so this is done. Now just copy this entire thing and create another fragment, 2. And now just change one or two things, 2 fragment and TV2. Right, so it's done. Now just attach this to the fragment. So we'll extend the fragment class. Yes. Now create on create view. Now we'll have so as I said, we'll be using binding as well. So I'll show you what I'll have to do in order to use binding. So for that we'll have to enable it. So in order to do that, view binding enable is equals to true. I guess that is it. Let's try. And one more thing, so if you will try to use any other view in fragment, if you try to like pass any other view in fragment container view instead, which is not fragment, then it will show illegal state exception as stated in Google's doc. So fragment container view only hold those fragments, only holds fragments and not any other views, right? So that's a key point that you should remember. Right, and now what we'll do is binding one binding layout inflator. Now instead of returning these, return binding dot root. So this is done. Now let's see on view created, we'll put a click binding dot tv1 dot set on click listener. Right now there are two things that we should be keeping in mind, so I'll go through that later. So first of all, let's just copy this entire thing and put it in 2 fragment. So we should not be wasting our time in this boilerplate code, right? Extend it with fragment. Okay, instead of fragment 1 binding, we'll be using fragment 2 binding, and just here, and this is not needed because we'll be navigating from one fragment to second fragment and not the other way around. So that's not, the click is not necessary. You can put it if you want. So right, as I have stated, I put all 2 fragments. Now let's register all both fragments in here. One fragment and the second fragment. Now I will put a navigation, and as you can see in here that there is a navigation ID. Now in order to navigate, so you just, as I said, that so if you switch from frame layout to fragment container view, you did not write that transaction code. You just have to like give this kind of a path, a UI path. You just have to drag and once put it in here, and then it will create this ID by default. You can also you can also create this action manually. You can write this thing and you can put whatever ID you want. Just copy this ID, and then when you want to like navigate from one fragment to another fragment, let's say we want to here, so let's just put a condition that require activity is main activity. So if it's main activity, as we have put fragment container view code in main activity, so we'll be checking this condition first, and then if that's true, then we'll find nav controller dot navigate, and we'll pass this. Okay, we'll have to and yeah, it's done. So that's it. That's how simple it is. Now we'll just have to complete the first. So let's start with these. And so there are 3 important attributes to the fragment container view class. So first is we'll have to write a name attribute. So name attribute will give it a default class which will provide navigation controller to all the class that are added after nav host fragment. So for that, navigation dot fragment dot nav host fragment, right? Then we'll first of all let's give it an ID fcv main. Now let's give it a default nav host plus true. So this will give a back button navigation to this let's say back button navigation to this, and then we'll add another which is nav graph. So back button navigation behavior to this root class. Nav graph as first of all app navigation nav home. So let's run and check if it's recording properly. So now we've already created this new activity. We'll create a related layout for that which will contain frame layout. So let's see. As I said, that fragment container view class extends frame layout, as you can see here. So yeah, so as you can see it's done. So if I click on one fragment, it will navigate to another fragment, right? And yeah, so now let's go to one fragment and frame layout activity. Now in frame layout activity, we'll create and there will do set content view. So we'll create a data binding. So for that, private let init where binding. Now we'll create a layout for this. So let's just copy this activity underscore main instead frame underscore layout. Now instead of fragment container view, we'll put frame layout, give it FL main, and it does not require these 3 attributes. Now activity frame layout binding, then binding equals to frame out inflate layout inflator, then we'll pass binding dot root. Now we'll have to transact first one fragment in this. So for that we'll use support fragment manager dot begin transaction dot add. Will pass the id r.id.fl main, then we'll pass one fragment class and null as bundle or any other attributes, and commit. So this should work. Now it will go to one fragment. Now we'll put one other check in here, that else if require activity, the current activity is frame layout activity, then we'll transact. So this is not how it works. So we'll do require activity dot support fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace r dot id dot fl main sec to fragment now dot commit. So this should work. Now we'll just have to register this activity in manifest, otherwise it will throw an error. There is an activity frame layout activity. So just copy paste enter thing frame layout activity and comment these filters, intent filters, yes, and run this app again. So it will be same as this frame layout activity. Now what we'll do is we'll add animation and we'll see the difference between those animations. So till now we have seen that how these two processes are different from each other, and you would have seen that when things get complicated, so when there are multiple fragments which have this navigation, so you'll prefer going for this navigation graph instead of writing support fragment manager and stuff. So this is done, right? So it's working. So now let's just add animation and see. So for adding animation in nav home fragment, we'll add a navigation in here, so which is enter anim, which will use Android anim slide in left, and exit anim. So we'll use same animation for both so that we could analyze it better. And let's just close this and we'll add another in here when we are transacting from here. So for that we'll use set custom animations. Okay, sorry. Yes, dot set custom animations, and for that Android dot r dot anim slide in left and enter and exit. So right, let's run this. So now we'll see how it works. When it runs, we'll see, and then we'll compare both of those videos, and I'll show you the exact difference. If you use some custom animation, you will be able to find the difference between these two processes and how frame layout processes it better than other thing. Sorry, fragment container view processes better than frame layout. Right, so I'll show you in the next video. So not next video, sorry, not next video, but just next part. I'll just record these in my mobile, and then I'll put these in or side by side, and then I'll show you the difference between these two. Okay, sorry. So it should be like so. This is how it works. So I'll show you the difference between these two in this upcoming few minutes. So yeah, that's it for this practical, and then I'll show you the comparison of this video. Thank you guys. Hey guys, so as you can see, I've compared these two videos. So the left side is a frame layout thing, and the right side is a fragment container view. So I've kept it same difference. So you can see that the fragment container view has a transparent and the second fragment is visible from here, right? And if you can see in frame layout, so the second fragment it is not visible yet, but it will be visible after this one fragment completes its exit entirely, right? So that's the difference between it's minor difference. It seems a bit laggy as I've used same animation for both the for enter and exit. I've used both same as slide in left to just demonstrate this thing. So thank you guys. I hope you get the idea that what this animation issue is. So fragment container is kind of good. Thank you guys.